Mars transit, I'm having a hard time with it. It's bad timing, but I think that when Mars trines my Jupiter, I talked about it before, it's going to be like I will be able to benefit from what I've been pouring out into what I consider as my, it's a creative life to be spiritual. Because, well, particularly, oh my God, this cat is so fat. I'm so glad they're eating well. Um, they were kind of wobbly when they got here, but now they're turning into balloons. Oh, I just love my little baby. Another interruption. Sorry about that. He doesn't really mind. Oh, I just love him so much. And there she is. Do you see her? She's so cute. It just brings me back to everything that I would want of myself, as far as grounding, and then ah, God, yay. I just love him so much. I don't think that any animals should be mixing up with people that aren't living like they that they have arrived into what I was just about to say, a monastery, or a place where it's like that that there isn't anything better to do but to just go into a trance and try and hang 6 cats over you, or take 35 dogs for a walk into the hills every day and come back and sit and feed a chicken. I don't know, but just realize that that's okay. There's much more happening than just the obvious there. And um, especially if it's the kind of place where somebody isn't going to suddenly drive in and pour a bunch of black asphalt all over the fucking place and then say, you know what, um, just I can't take you to prison, so I'm going to build a wall around myself. And it's like, let me know when you need some help. We all kind of need some help here, you know. We keep asking, but by the way, you were asking me if I needed some help, and I was puzzled because it's like, of course I do. But there are some things, if it was a genuine intelligence there, and I was talking about real intelligence, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't apologize. I'm not going to apologize, but I'm a pretty stringent person. I'm at my level of intelligence where I think like water. I think like water. I think, well, let's see everything, and then water just wants to see everything. To tell you the truth, it wants to SEA everything. You have to love. You have to love that this what I'm creeping in, um, to make you think a little more, to use your imagination a little more, in accordance to how the word is, because God created the word. No, the word points at God, and although it's an amazing thing, narcissists seem to be completely hung up on the fucking word. Nothing we can do about it. We can't prove to them, but we can. It's really easy, and they're like, once it can be understood by a 3-year-old, that's going to be terrible. Of course, they're hiding all of them away, and how do they do it? Homeschooling. They're so selfish. Oh, and then they're going to figure out the right curriculum for them, and of course, no, they're sharing them with other people, but other narcissists who are qualified, right? They don't know that. Well, the people in your life, like most likely the one that's like that you keep going like this to, is trying to fucking say, well, what was in a roundabout way? It's hard, really. I mean, if it gets really that bad, where you're never going to understand from where, like your own guru inside of you, like, how do I get into these situations where, uh, I have to isolate myself to my own encapsulated belief system and drag some other people into it. That's a number one thing, babes. And a narcissist, it's like a no-brainer to them because they don't want to be alone with that. They just have kids. Sorry to come, but boy, that's you get the feeling that that happens, and then see, women will do that. Um, they just I don't know what is going through people's heads. I want to start a playlist that I will be locking up, but it's gonna start talking about the subject matter. I honestly want to have. I would love to have this conversation on a wide scale. I want to take a poll. I want people to be honest, particularly my side of the organism. I want to know because I've lived a long time now and I've inquired, I've had experiences, and it's looking like a certain way, and it's like, whoa, that is so contrary to what, I mean, it's just not being talked about enough, and so, but there's exploitation happening. That is, it's very, it's like the narcissist there just needs a picture of a flash of an ideal. That's what they're doing is they have objects that they deal with in their head only, and they don't handle objects in reality. The word object is something that psychologists and psychiatrists, or I think psychologists, come up with to try to start to reduce down, but see, that's what it's okay to call people objects in reality. It's just there's something out there, and then there's something they hold in here, and see, in here is not conducive to out here. A lot of people don't know that this has nothing to do with out there. You have to somehow make this work for this so that you don't look stupid. And it's reversed. They say, no, you make this work for this, and so you look like you're running on a fucking treadmill, and when are you ever going to get into your body and then start registering, oh, I have something to learn, which is the basics of how the mind can get in the way of everything there is that you are to learn as in an experience beyond mind, which is in your body and in reality. Sorry, I'm looking at my wood stove and it's cranking up right now. It's gotten a little cold in the mountains here just the past couple days, and it felt like it was probably 50 degrees or something at night, and then see, my prediction is that, and I'm getting it on tape here, it's 9:12. If I wasn't being so distracted in my personal life by some petty issues that people, they kind of live petty, and it's terrible to say that because it's the upper echelon, it's the upper cases, not the upper case. What I mean is like, well, who knows? Any next person, they could be that way. I don't need to pick on them. Well, I don't need to deal with them. I know that that's out there, and you just mind your own business and you have your own wonderful life. That, yeah, there's a small circle of what? Have you noticed that did your circle of friends change? I'm not talking about Facebook. Facebook. Although I didn't just say that I'm not well aware that there's a profound reason that we are supposed to be on social media, and the language that they do use, it's kind of subtle, but see, your friend, are they ever going to tell you that your friend is the one that you make positive transactions with that makes you feel good? That in fact it is like, okay, they give you a charge. What do you mean they give you a charge? Well, that's. Are you talking about money then? See, because how do you give a charge with money, right? Is it okay? Yeah, to owe you is okay. See, the O, I would love to put my chalkboard up and show you what I'm looking at. How um that it there's a way to start. You can see, there is a way to solve these problems here, and people are being downloaded some things. I call the system that I know that starts to point right back at the simplicity of the very universe that we are living in, how we can alter and reverse our entire way that we are governing. Each and every individual has a profound responsibility to this. And it's not a collective like now, a collective him or hum. Although there is, it's not of the system. You already have a solar system here. You already have a universe. You have, they say, nothing new under the sun about the truth. And it's like, so why don't we know the half of it? And what's there trying to inform us and shit, it's so not right. It's a lie. Why is it like that? Because that's like the only thing to do, it seems like, but not really. No. What we're looking at is something huge. We are probably prisoners here on this planet. Some of us are not we aren't totally incapable of making an escape. There's the Bodhisattva. There's many people. Stories, maybe even you make an escape when you go to sleep at night. You go someplace, whether you know it, like it or not. It's not necessarily your dream world, although, yes, you are doing something there. It's very interesting to look into. But yeah, I don't exclude at all that if you can remember a dream, particularly if you lucid dream. If it's a nightmare, see, to me, a nightmare is the one that you don't control. That's all. You do not start to do what the next moneymaker did and make a dream interpretation book. No. You either figure out, is it a nightmare? Like, did you not control it, or did you control it? There might be something to why you have a repeated dream about some certain things. Like, why do I dream about that? Well, I think it's because you're stupid. Once it's just a release of a misunderstanding of something that before you can get deep rest, you have to release that, whatever it is that you just couldn't get to it. And then your mind it needs to work something out until you'll have a dream. This is real, what I'm talking about. It's a release, that's all. It's a release of madness. So that's why you don't want to start saying, and this is what it means. It doesn't mean anything except for you're just trying to get deep rest. You want to get fully rested, and you have to work the things you don't understand about everything, really, especially, well, I don't say especially, but some of the simple things, some simple things. The way that it's described is, okay, minute 13, this might be entertaining. The way that it's described is that, how do you know that? What do you mean about it's just a release of madness and forget about it? Yeah, you don't bug about dreams. See, masters, I hate to really get controversial here, but enlightened people, they don't dream that release kind of dream. It's more like they go in and they have a lucid thing. They're like, oh, finally, okay, so I can ride my motorcycle. And other people are doing that in this realm. And you can come across them. You're like, well, that person, it's like it's weird when you come across other people when you're lucid dreaming and you're doing what you want. Because it's like, what dream are they in? This is weird. They're in my dream, and it's just like, I swear to God. It's like you'll see like three men in a black tuxedo right there and tie, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm flying around in the meadow, that thing's going on, and what's happening? Well, what's happening is that they know that you're in that realm, and they're like, well, let's see what she does. They can't interfere, but they're making sure that you don't do something like stupid or crazy. And it's like, no, because the usual is that, see, when the more and more powerful, I'm talking something very real here. Carlos Castaneda, who was a triple Aries, wrote books on the thing about dreaming. And one of the things that I remember, because I have been doing this all my life, And what I'm talking about is astral travel and going into another realm completely. This place here is weird. And you have to ask yourself, do you ever ask yourself, why do we have to sleep? Why does everything have to sleep? See, my cats have to release madness, and so does your dog and everything. They have to release it and they start twitching. And what they're doing is they're catching that mouse. Finally, that's a good analogy to pull up. I was going to say something else about how it's the man that sees the beautiful woman in his real life walking across the street in the red dress, and he would like to have every bit of his way with her, right? But he can't. But he goes to sleep at night, and he comes across the same scene, and then he goes up and does whatever he thinks he wants to do, and that has to happen before he can finally get some real deep rest. And that's the average population out there. They're just completely berserk and bizarre, and they don't know that. Well, that's nothing that you should interpret. I mean, if it happens over and over again, which is, it could be a health problem or something you're not. See, your dreams. It's just the bottom line is, how do I get on this? Because we're having an eclipse now. It's going to happen in Pisces, in the sign that rules dreams and the very true nature of this reality, made of what? It's a dream field. It's made of color. They'd say it's just pure light. We're going to get into some trippy fucking subject matter going through this. Like, no wonder it's so spaced out in me that I wasn't aware that this eclipse. Now, when is it happening, Shauna? Handling Mars in Cardinal, all of our Aries friends and everybody on the planet is handling this Mars going through the most awkward place of the whole zodiac. You thought Taurus was awkward. It's debilitated there. And it's like, well, just wait because we can't take action. But in Mars, it's like action is happening and in that house, but nobody in that house wants to take care of Mars. They're like, nah, you can get your own water. And don't ask me to whip this up better. Why don't you whip it to your suffice and share with us every once in a while? See, that's the mother saying, learn to share. And Mars is like, no, what's that thing? And it's like, will you get out of here? We have small kids to raise here. You're very insensitive. What are you going to do about it? And Aries right now is is like this. I really need a break. I do not want anybody approaching me with it's either their insensitivity and their poor programming, because we're feeling it. Because you know what? Aries is very sensitive people. It rules the head. Everything is happening there. They can't get into it. You can't get lost in your head. You can't get heady. It's more like the body. We know. It's like we are the people of action. Everybody loves us because we do just get up and go. And it's adventurous. It's an adventure. Why? Because it's 3D. Here it is, physical reality. Did you get out of the cartoon? Get into your body, and then move into the trinary. Woo, your heart's beating. There's a way to breathe, huh? Yep, and you can move mountains with that fucking breathing. Believe it or not. Thank you for saying fuck, by the way. Poor Aries, it's like, can they handle fuck? Mars over there says, yeah, I mean, sex, that's all we're talking about, isn't it? Not really. It's so many. That word is versatile. Shh. So the eclipse is happening. This book will tell me if I just look at it. There it is, September 18th at 2:45 a.m. There is a polar opposition happening with the sun and the moon, in which that it hits so exact, it's 85%. That means it might not be so, well, it's in Greenwich, anyway. It might be it's not a total lunar eclipse. And so it's at what degree? Oh, there it is. Let me look what sign it is. Sorry, what's interesting is they don't show you. There's a reason. Okay, there it is. Sorry. Pardon me. It's at 25 degrees. And that means it's, oh my God. No way. No, is that right? Why am I, does it seem like I'm misunderstanding this? If it's happening on the 18th, let me just look. I'll tell you what degree it is. You just look at the degree of the sun, and that means when the moon hits that degree opposite. Yeah, it happens to be conjunct Neptune. I don't want to throw this book up. This is a living book, man. You just. Do you know where now? See, I was going to do more astrology for us because I'm actually a really good intuitive astrologer. It takes a lot of practice, and then you get into a mode where, see, I do meditative astrology, and then you can do, I bet you anything, you can do predictive astrology. See, things will stick out. I'm more conscious. My third eye is open now while I'm making this video all day. It's very consistent. It I have Kundalini flux going on. That's where the channeling comes through, and that's where you're getting some things done. It's very important to treat your spine right and your whole body. Anyway, it's a chance that you too could go crazy. Have a good day. The full moon eclipsing. The eclipse season involves the conjunction with Neptune. Neptune, in fact, right now is the leader in, like, letting us know something about everything. Everything. Because of the way it's going backwards. Now, did you hear that knock? The same. I'll put the video up, and it's happened several times before, and I'm going to start saying it now. Did you hear that knock? Because it makes sense now. See that the spirit world is going to start to open up, and you need to know that you've been taught something very poor if you can't let the spirit world in and start getting into your guides and the angels that love you. Otherwise, you were probably listening to demons that are like, you have no idea, man. This fucking world is full of people who are demon possessed. There's a difference between being a channeler, somebody who channels, and then being demon possessed. Somebody who knows about the shamanic side of life, who they use their dreams, in fact, to enter into other people's dreams. See, I do dream work. I was doing, I think I need to get better than and do it. The buzz of kin electrical and borla pilo. Chishrulin borlin to suputatingile teta nenalamaba. Deron bolistic and roll pomo rebellion. Nay lacking yeshin in it. The elite knows about it, but you can go and it's about 3 in the morning. There's something, I've been studying it for a while, and it's hard to unfold all of this stuff. I told you I'm a channeler, and I'm also here in 3D going, oh, and so the more that you get initiated into this, the more that you just get straight up demons coming at you saying, no! And money!